Today I'm going to be showing you how to create your own felt sun embellishment. This is my inspiration here. It's by KI Memories. It's called a puffy, the embellishment in the center there. I don't know if they're available anymore. So I'm starting off with just some cheap felt. I used a couple of nestabilities to cut these circles, just faster and a little cleaner than doing it by hand. The Creative Critter Cricut cartridge created a template for these darker orange pieces here, and I'm just going to snip those so you can use almost any scissors. Now I'm using kind of a fine tip Sharpie to trace the smaller one. It's a little too small to stick a straight pin through it to hold the pattern to the fabric. So here you can see that I've traced out the lines. Now I'm just using my traced lines to cut along. And you could stop here if you wanted and just glue these together for a more simple embellishment and it would be really cute. But I'm going to do the face like you see in the example. So now I'm drawing on their little smiles, just using a regular pen, just test it on a scrap first to see if it'll write on the felt. And now I'm going to begin with my stitching. Here I'm separating my embroidery thread. I'm going to use 2 strands. It usually comes as 6. And I'm just grabbing some simple embroidery needles. These packs are very affordable. And I'm just going to stitch right along the line I drew with the face. And I think stitching as opposed to just drawing it gives it a better depth and a more crisp look. So I'm just doing that on both of these. Okay, so now I'm working on the little googly eyes that I've selected. I'm using some quick dry from Scotch, and that seemed to do the trick pretty well. It's got a nice fine tip, which came in handy for this smaller sun because I used teeny tiny little eyes for that. Pretty easy to do. Just push them in really well and give them a second to dry before you work with it. So now for the filling, this is just some filling you can buy at almost any craft store. I usually buy mine at Joann's, I believe. Here's a pillow that I'm recycling and I've been using on several projects. That's another great option for you if you don't want to have to run out and buy something. If you have any old pillows you're not using or a pillow you're planning on replacing because it's getting kind of flat, go ahead and buy a new pillow and use your old one. Another option is like these little felt scraps here I created while working on this project. They're not quite as smooth and nice, but they'll work, or you can even make do with some cotton or something like that. Okay, so here's where I'm deciding what color to use around the stitching. I decide on this darker orange to match the backing, and then you just go through and start stitching around. And here I am working on the smaller sun. I actually ended up messing up the bigger sun, and I'll show you that in a minute, so that didn't end up working out so well for me. So when you've stitched not quite all the way around, but you're getting pretty close, you want to go ahead and reach for your stuffing. It's real light and fluffy to work with, so you kind of have to pack it down and shove it in there. So I kind of start by opening with my finger just to get it ready. And then I like to use a pencil or some other implement to push the stuffing in. Here I'm just using the pen I already had on my desk so that I can get it all in there nice and compact. And yeah, you just keep pushing it until it's all the way in. So just be patient. You're going to get little straggly hairs sort of sticking out. Don't worry about that too much. Then to stitch it closed with the stuffing in, you sort of need to hold with your finger near the edge you're going to be stitching because the stuffing will make it want to kind of hold open. So yeah, just kind of hang on to it with your finger while you do the last few stitches to close it, and then you won't have any problems. Pretty simple to do. It just takes a little bit of patience. I made these little marks to try to mark where to put my line, and it just showed up too much, and yeah, so I tossed that one. Here's my finished one that I think came out super cute, and there's a quick comparison of the original inspiration and what mine turned out like. Hope you enjoyed. Have a great day.